So hey everybody, this is Jack Nunn, coming to you. I know it's unplanned, waiting for the right time to do all this. Has been something on my radar for a few weeks now, and I felt like the timing was right to really come forward with another part of Angela Madsen's story. You guys probably have heard of her right now, as of now. She was in the LA Times on the first cover page yesterday. Angela Madsen, if you don't know, she passed away while rowing to Hawaii from Long Beach. She was on her way solo. Angela's a paraplegic athlete, rower, veteran, hero, family friend of the Nunns, of our family, for the past 20 years. She started the California Adaptive Rowing Program about 20 years ago, has built up that program in Long Beach in conjunction with Long Beach Rowing Association. If you don't know this, RowWorks also operates out of the boathouse in Long Beach as well, with LBRA, with the Cal State Long Beach college program, with the Long Beach Junior program, and RowWorks as well. If you didn't know this, I started rowing because of my father. My father, 68, bronze medalist in the Olympic double sculls. Mexico City, was the Olympic coach in 1976. It's kind of ingrained in me, right? I started rowing as a Long Beach junior with the Long Beach junior crew in 1996. I got a scholarship to Berkeley, rowed at Berkeley, and then the rest is history. Started RowWorks in 2008 and really grew the program through there. Angela was an integral part in growing rowing as well in Long Beach, and also just being such an inspiration to everyone around her. She's a close family friend, not only of me, but my father, and also especially my mother. So my mother, Nunn, did a video. This is not broadcasted. It was on cable network back about 20 years ago, 2003. She interviewed Angela Madsen, Ron Harvey, and Angela Best. And Ron Harvey, as you know, is also paraplegic rower, was on the national team for rowing, so you're going to hear about his story as well. So let me just tell you a little bit about my mom, since I don't talk about her that much. I talk about my dad so much in class, and it's the stories with rowing. But my mom is pretty awesome. And I think this is such a cool timing thing, especially after Angela's on the front page of the LA Times. I felt like the time is now to tell her story, Angela's story, from the beginning. And it's such a cool moment. I was honored to present Angela Madsen with an award back in 2015, I believe, for outstanding achievement at the Long Beach Aquatic Capital of America. It was a huge honor. I was so nervous. Basically, the sum of my speech was basically Angela Madsen's doing an Ironman, like triathlon Ironman every single day. She's out on the water. So every day she rows 2 hours on, 2 hours off, 24/7. This trip, as she passed away, she was doing that for 60 days. So she was out there for, or more than 2 months. So you can imagine the toll that takes on your body, the determination, the will. A lot of people think Ironman's a big deal. That's just one day. She does it day in, day out, and just loves being out in that water and just loves the determination. So I presented that award for outstanding achievement to her at the Long Beach Aquatic Capital of America. So that was a huge honor for me. I actually got to speak about her in the Grunion paper just a few weeks ago. Just her message of never giving up. And so that's just a really powerful person in my life. Just a few months before she took her trip to Hawaii, we did an event together for the LA Sparks, the basketball team network, and taught veterans, fellow military veterans, how to row and how to incorporate rowing as a part of their life for fitness. So I met with Angela a few times before she left, and I'm going to share a few things with you. First, I'm going to share the letter my mom wrote to Angela before she left. I haven't seen this letter. I actually have not read this letter until right now. I gave this to Angela just about a few days before she left. Angela was so kind. She said, you know, your mom is like a second mom to me. And so it was really cool. So sorry if I get a little emotional, but it goes like this. So, dearest Angela, be assured of all your prayers and thoughts for you as you have set out on this most epic journey. You have always been our hero, and also in all the countless lives that you have impacted with your never give up attitude in the whole Nunn family. Ever since we had the wonderful chance to meet you, you have been unselfishly dedicated to making a big difference in many lives. We remember so well people you have influenced in their lives. Ron Harvey, your children and your grandchildren, the adaptive rowing program in Long Beach, not necessarily in this order. We know that this trip is very important to you, and we pray that all the thoughts and commitment that you have orchestrated will bear success. You live your life with purpose, love, concern for your fellow man, and love for your family, friends, and loved ones. I remember rowing with you on only one trip in Long Beach in the evening, and you told me you always have to have an exit plan in life. And when one thing that you wanted to do doesn't work out, think of something else that will work. Angela, I have held your words close in my heart and have followed your words, not only with my work as a drug and alcohol counselor, but also in the relationships with my family. You are a complete inspiration, and we wish you a safe, successful trip. Know that we celebrate all the priceless and unforgettable things that you have done for not only us, but for the world at large. God bless you, and virtual hugs. Maureen, John, and the whole Nunn family. It's the first time I've read that. That was the letter my mom wrote to Angela just days before she left. To give you a little background about my mom, most of you don't know, she is amazing. She grew up in Palos Verdes, always had inspired work to be in the space program. After graduating from Purdue with a degree in aeronautical engineering, she had difficulties obtaining a job in the field simply due to her gender. Undefeated, she then decided to pursue a career in her college minor instead, which was Spanish, and started teaching Spanish to Americans and English to foreigners. Eventually, she shifted from teaching language, parenting, relationships, and marriage to nonprofit groups such as Community Child, Harbor Interfaith, and even now in the U.S. Marine Corps at Camp Pendleton. Little connection there. Throughout Maureen's busy teaching career, she was also helping people abroad, following her parents' passion for the country and people of Uganda. She would make biannual trips to the country to work with the community, doing everything from visiting the sick, working with the schools, organizations, soccer games, or simply speaking with local women about their needs. Upon retirement, she took on a new challenge, what I'm about to show you, in television and production, and produced Everyday Heroes and a Spanish Latino show that became an award-winning program. When the shows ended, she went on to write a number of selling books, with one of which is Got Kids. She has a book about raising kids. There's 5 of us in the family. And this show, she produced another show called Moments with Marine, which I'm about to show you. This show featured ordinary people who are doing extraordinary things, making the quality of life better and the world a more kind and gentle place. I think we could all use some of this right now, especially going through what we're going through. Maureen interviewed Angela Madsen, Ron Harvey, and Angela Best in 2002. And as you will see and hear, they are all making the world a better place by helping others help themselves. Maureen's message to the world, my mom's message, to find peace and harmony with yourself, and then spreading that peace and joy to other people that can help affect change in the world. So bear with me, watch the program, It's for the first time I'm broadcasting this with my mom's permission. I'm going to have this on YouTube as well. I'm going to send an email out to all my members, and you can learn more about Angela's life. So this is about 35 minutes, and I'll turn it up so you guys all can watch, and hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to leave you with my inspiration from Angela, the never give up attitude. Never give up. No excuse, fight, and live your life to the fullest. So here we go.
Hello and welcome to Moments with Maureen. I'm your host, Maureen Nunn. Well, what happens when your get up and go won't get up to go? You're about to hear a story of a remarkable young woman who motivates herself and others to live life to the fullest, even during monumental challenges. Angela Madsen has overcome incredible obstacles, and she's done this with unbounded enthusiasm, determination, and willpower, and she has succeeded. She lives her life with action and by the moment. So here's a story with tragedy, heartbreak, ultimate triumph, many moments of living life to the fullest and helping us all do the same. Welcome to Moments with Maureen. While growing up in Ohio, Angela's joy was to be a competitive athlete. But in 1993, a back surgery left Angela without the use of her legs, curtailing her participation in competitive sports. Within 2 years of rehabilitation, she was back in competition as a physically challenged athlete. Her physical condition motivated her to keep going and to excel in basketball, surfing, and rowing. She was invited to try rowing through an outdoor adventure program for people with disabilities. She said yes to the challenge. Driving an hour from Long Beach to Dana Point on Saturday mornings at 5 a.m., Angela began her year-long rowing training, and it paid off. Recently, her team won the first place gold medal for the World Championships of Rowing in Milan, Italy. She is classified in the Class 4 International Paralympic TA class. In September 2000, Angela learned about the Long Beach Rowing Association, located 5 minutes from her home in Long Beach. She approached them about hosting an adaptive rowing program. They said yes, and the California Adaptive Rowing Program is in their 4th year with 30 physically challenged members. She is also a member of the Shooting Stars women's wheelchair basketball team, and she made the All-Star team in 2003. Many mornings, Angela can be found catching a wave in Newport Beach, and she competes annually in a surf contest called Surfboards for Spinal Cords. No obstacle will keep her down. Rowing, basketball, and surfing aren't the only accomplishments Angela is proud of. Angela's beautiful daughter, Jennifer, is married to Ronnie, and she is a proud grandmother of 3 darling girls, Amanda 8, Angel 2, and new grandbaby Cheyenne, and her dog Shiloh. Angela believes you can learn a lot about yourself from sports. While she continues to actively compete herself, Angela's new joy is teaching others to row. Angela, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate your being here.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Okay, let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back to Ohio, to your family growing up with 6 brothers and sisters. What was that like?
That was, well, we were all 1 year apart, so it was probably pretty hectic for my mom, you know. And we were all real competitive, and we lived out in the country, so we all ran around and played a lot together, played pretty rough together.
What number are you of the 6?
Right in the middle. I'm like number 4, I think.
You had a daughter when you were 17 years old. Now your daughter, you're a very young grandmother because your daughter now is married and has 3 children.
Mm-hmm.
What were the specific challenges of raising a daughter all by yourself?
Well, basically, money, income, and then you sacrifice a lot. You have to work really hard, and basically, you kind of, well, you kind of regret not being there for them, and you have some problems from that. But I mean, when you have to work 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, just so that you can be a single parent and take care and give them everything that they need, it's real challenging.
What do you think, growing up in Ohio with all the family and being 1 year apart, what characters do you think you developed growing up in that kind of a family?
Probably a lot of strength, a lot of toughness, a lot of determination. I mean, if you wanted something, you had to go for it, or you weren't going to get it.
And what do you think specifically motivated you or interested you about becoming a Marine?
Well, I already had my daughter, basically to take care of my daughter, good pay, medical benefits. I was sold on the whole deal. I had 3 brothers that were in the Marine Corps and 1 brother in the Navy, so I thought the military would be a good thing to do.
And was it?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed boot camp. I enjoyed school. I enjoyed traveling and playing sports for the Marine Corps. It was good.
You are a really incredible woman athlete because when you were in the Marine Corps, you won a ton of medals, 16 medals in the Marine Corps. But then take us to the day when you were playing basketball and you suffered a really bad injury.
Basically, I was, a couple of girls were going up for a rebound, and I got tripped, and I fell face first, and another girl landed on top of my back and ruptured 2 of my discs and damaged my sciatic nerve. And basically, I ended up getting out of the military at that time with medical.
And then you endured about 13 years with really extreme, excruciating back pain. Tried all kinds of things, acupuncture, you name it, you did it, right?
Basically, yeah, holistic medicines.
You have a lot of determination. I mean, you really have a lot of determination and a lot of willpower. But when the pain got so severe, you ended up having surgery. Tell us about the surgery.
Basically, gravity and deterioration is like becoming necessary for me to have the surgery. The discs were compressing on the nerves, and so I had to have it done. And I went to the VA, and basically during the surgery, they started at the wrong level. I was supposed to have 2 levels fused, but I ended up having 3. They started at the wrong level, and basically when they were doing the putting the rods in, I have Harrington rods and pedicle screws, and this whole metal ladder affixed to the inside of my back, and they had drilled a hole in my spinal cord about L1 level. So I became an L1, what they refer to as incomplete spinal cord injury at that time.
Which means that you were a wheelchair user.
Correct. Yeah.
And, okay, so take us through that period then when you're diagnosed, the surgery was literally botched. You're now using a wheelchair. Where do you go with that?
Well, it depends. I mean, basically, some people get the rehab they need, and they get everything that they need, and they get taken care of. And basically, from malpractice to a botched surgery, what you get is it never happened, we didn't do it to you, and you get no rehab.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in the hospital for like 3 months. I lost my job. I lost my apartment. I lost my house. Basically, when I got out, I had no place to go. No money, and I was in a wheelchair. I wasn't in very good shape. I was just basically had nothing and nothing going for me at that time.
So how do you get your life back then? I mean, everything has been taken, and you said you weren't in very good shape. I would assume that you gained a lot of weight, and probably you weren't just doing nothing healthfully. Was there a doctor or somebody said something to you that really motivated you to change your life?
Yeah. I was in about a 22-inch wheelchair, and I weighed about 320 pounds, and I had a doctor that told me that my physical condition was a waste of human life.
A waste of human life.
Mm-hmm.
So hearing those words, what did you decide to do?
Well, basically, I found out about some wheelchair sports and went up through Paralyzed Veterans of America, and disabled American veterans. They sponsor athletes and people in wheelchairs to participate in adaptive sports, and then I got my introduction to adaptive sports through those organizations. They also helped me, disabled American veterans helped me get an apartment, and helped me get things back on track, and they helped me get my benefits. Once I got my 100%, got my finances straightened around, I bought a house, started playing wheelchair basketball first. And that's pretty much the start of it for me.
Now you have full military benefits, and so your life in that aspect is taken care of. It didn't happen overnight, but you rode with a partner from Marina del Rey to Catalina Island, which is how far?
It's 37 land miles, 32 nautical miles.
32 nautical miles.
Mm-hmm.
On the way over, help me through this, Angela. On the way over, the boat capsized. They were sending a Coast Guard boat after you. But with your determination and your willpower and your enthusiasm, you were able to right the boat, get back in the boat, and finish the race. How? Where do you get this strength?
Well, I don't know. I'm not a quitter. I've never been a quitter. It's like you just always have to keep going. And basically, I've always achieved success or been able to achieve my goals. And once you learn how to achieve one goal, then it makes it really hard. You have so much hope that you're never gonna fail at achieving your goals. So I just keep going.
But you had never rowed. You had to learn how to row. And you had to learn adaptive rowing because you're a wheelchair user. That had a lot of specific things that you had to learn too.
Well, like
what has rowing done for you?
It's done a lot for me. Basically, there's a lot with sports that I've been able to achieve a fitness level. I've been able to lose a lot of weight. I've been able to strengthen and maintain parts where I'd otherwise have been so atrophied that I wouldn't be able to do some of the things that I do now, like my surfing, and to be able to be an elite athlete and compete at world championship level in the rowing is just great. And I love the challenges of the distance rowing and the open water rowing, where you're out in 6 and 7 foot waves, and you know, it's like you're rowing up a wave and you get air, and it's like, yeah, it's just you know, it's fun.
So your determination and your enthusiasm and your willpower, you suffered some other medical setbacks too. Or for you, they're not setbacks, but you had a bilateral mastectomy, then you had ulnar nerve surgery, and you had another surgery here. Does anything keep you down?
Not yet.
And you just got fitted recently for braces to be able to do what?
Well, it's basically because I'm getting a little bit more strength from the rowing, which is like called static weight bearing. Every time I load up the oars, I put pressure on my legs, and I've been able to strengthen my quads and my abductors enough to where I can stand, but I don't have enough feeling or sensation in my feet to keep my feet from making me fall.
Angela, I have to know this. What is your life philosophy? What do you live by on a daily basis?
Basically, it's to live in the moment and to believe that things can get better and that they will. And one step beyond that is by actually taking charge of your life and making things better in your life. You can direct your own future and your own outcome, and you can make of life what you will. And basically, if you work at it and work at it and work at it, you can achieve success at anything you try.
Angela, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. It's really a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
So, how did you get interested in rowing?
Well, I've kind of always been athletic or involved in a lot of sports, and I started playing wheelchair basketball about 4 years ago, and I met Angela on the basketball team. We played together, and she had been doing the rowing program for about a year, and she asked me to come out and try it out at least once, and here I am 4 years later. I'm hooked.
You're hooked. Why are you hooked? What does it do for you?
Oh man, just so many things. Physically, I've been able to do, I started when I was 19, and I've been able to do so many more things physically, just little things like going out in public or getting on a bus or pushing myself farther than I would normally have. things like that.
Now you have,
What I have is called spina bifida. I was born with it, and when I was born, my spinal cord wasn't fully developed, so it kind of affects the nerves, I guess you would say, where the hole in the spine is.
so Angela, on a situation where somebody might say that they can't row, that they're no good, that they're worthless, what do you have as a comeback for that?
Well, those are negative self-affirmations, and they're basically not allowed in our program. And for every time any one of them says something bad about themselves, they have to say 5 positive things about themselves too.
What kind of a coach is she?
Well, she's been, I've known her for, like I said, 4 years, and she's just been such an inspiration and a great mentor and very positive person in my life.
Because you founded the adaptive rowing program. You were not only a rower, but you founded the program. It's got to be a daunting task to do that. For those who are watching who would like to be just involved in rowing, how do they find out about rowing? And where is it?
We row at the Pete Archer Rowing Center in Long Beach, California. My contact number is 562-434-8334. I'm a U.S. rowing coach, a level 3. I give the lessons and coordinate the volunteers. And basically, people with all kinds of disabilities come out and row. We have sliding seat rowing for people who can use their legs, fixed seat rowing for people who can't. We have doubles that blind people can row in a boat with another rower. So basically, they just call me.
They call you. Good. What is it about rowing that you love so much? I can just see it in your eyes, Angela.
Being a lot younger and going to school and going to work, and at the time I was living at home, and sometimes you just, growing up, you feel like everything's out of control.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely out of control. It's just a completely different experience. You get in the boat by yourself, and what you do controls that boat. You have every control of your situation while you're in that boat. And for that moment, for that hour, for that 20 minutes that you're in the boat, nothing else matters. You just kind of forget about everything else. That's one of the reasons I really enjoy it.
That's a great reason to row. You can actually just totally enjoy it. Because you're a student too.
Yes.
You have a life outside of rowing.
Yes, I do.
Tell us what you do.
I'm a student at Long Beach City College. I've been there quite a long time. I'm kind of taking it slow because I'm doing other things too. My major is communications. Eventually I want to become like a motivational speaker, public speaker, and also do advocacy for kids with disabilities. I've done a little bit, gone to hospitals and talked to like support groups and stuff. And I also work on campus with Students for Disability Counseling Office, and I'm what they call an in-class aide. And I go like for people who can't use their hands or that are quads. I go to the class with them and I help them take notes, or if it's a computer class, I help them type.
That's really nice.
Whatever. And I have 2 students. One's a blind student and one's a quad.
And they can row too,
Yes.
if they choose to row.
Yes.
Right. But you have a rowing program that's not only for adaptive, but you have a rowing program that is for just regular people who row, right? As far as non-adaptive.
We
So you
do.
have the whole
we
program.
we have volunteers, people that come and help us get our boats in the water. We actually, I teach them how to row too, and they do have some events where we can row mixed doubles, where we can row with able-bodied people in racing, and it's kind of fun.
And speaking of wonderful rowing events, Angela, you've got this medal sitting right here on the table.
Oh.
You have to show me. This is absolutely beautiful. Tell us about this gold medal.
This is a World Championship gold medal from Milan, Italy. I just returned 2 weeks ago from. Yeah. So that's my latest for rowing, and then my latest for surfing was this weekend. I was in the Surfboards for Spinal Cords surf contest. We had 7 surfers with disabilities in the water in our heat in our division, and I took first place. But it was just a huge success. We had so many people participating. It was great.
That is really great. So what are some of your future goals? I know you never dwell on past problems, but looking a little bit ahead to the future, what would be some of them? Couple.
Basically to better the rowing program, to get more people, more equipment, more volunteers, more people with physical challenges, overcoming those physical challenges.
And there's no reason that people can't row, because what happens when a person is totally isolated and they just don't participate in anything? What happens, Angela?
Well, that's kind of part of the reason why I want to do what I want to do in life. And I've seen so many young kids become helpless just about because of other people doing everything for them.
Mhm.
And it really hurts them more than anything. And it just completely changes things when you become independent and you do things for yourself. And it makes you feel good about yourself also.
Talk about your major accomplishment. What's been your major achievement?
I don't know. Just life.
What a great answer. What a great answer. And you're both, well, it's a great answer, and you're both giving back to help other people so much. You're volunteering in the hospital where you had the surgery that was botched, and you're volunteering with other kids too. So it's really a pleasure. Ron, it's a pleasure to have you here today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
How do you know Angela?
Well, I had seen her around when I was at the Long Beach Rowing Association, and she founded the adaptive rowing program there. So I'd seen her around, but I really hadn't met her until after I had my spinal cord injury accident. And she came in to visit me in the hospital and got me back into rowing, and been doing that ever since.
When was your accident, and tell us what happened?
It was about 2 years ago. I was out for a morning bike ride with a club team that I would go cycling with. And we were just coming down a hill pretty fast, and I lost control a bit and flipped into the guardrail, and there was a signpost there, and I hit my back on the signpost. And so I had spinal cord injury, and I broke 11 ribs and collapsed my lung. Quite an accident.
So when Angela came to the hospital, you were just recovering from surgery,
Yes.
from spinal cord surgery,
Mm-hmm.
and you were told that you would be a wheelchair user, probably not being able to walk again. Angela walks in. What'd she say to you? You tell me? What'd you say to him?
Well, I guess a lot of humorous remarks, maybe. We had the whole room kind of in stitches laughing, and we do that. I took Angela, the other Angela, and his dad was there, and his girlfriend was there.
About Shiloh and to see me.
Yeah, my
Shiloh's your
dog.
dog,
my
right?
dog.
What are some of the things that you say on a humorous level?
Well, a lot of it, people with disabilities, they're kind of like new to it, and they're shy about it, and there's a lot of stuff that they really are embarrassed about, and we try to be humorous about those things, which aren't probably appropriate for this show, to kind of make them feel a little more comfortable with what's going on with their bodies and what's happening to them. So that's what we do.
Now, you rode before the accident.
Yes. I had started rowing in college, and I was on the elite level team at Long Beach Rowing Association for several years, and was just starting to get away from doing it really competitively, just still rowing for fun.
Elite means?
Competing on like the national championship level. I went to the Olympic trials in 2000, trying to make the national team to go to Worlds or the Olympics.
That's a very high level of rowing.
Yes, it's very competitive.
So when you left the hospital, you couldn't go back to your apartment. Where'd you go?
I lived in a second and third floor apartment, so couldn't go home. So Angela very graciously let me come live at her house for a while until I was able to get recovered a little bit and get my own place to move to.
Angela, tell us how you helped Ron recover so quickly. What was boot camp with Angela like?
Well, basically, it was learning how to use the wheelchair. When I went through it, it's like nobody really ever taught us how to set ourselves up in the chair, what cushions to get that would be better, how to use the chair, how to get over barriers or obstacles. Nobody really teaches you that, or works with anybody on that kind of level. So we kind of like fast tracked Ron, and he was living with me, and I think we had to pick him up out of the street once Going down my driveway first day out of the hospital. It's like, yeah, so it's a lot of learning and a lot of stuff, and being around other people in chairs that are doing it. Just getting the visual and getting to see them doing the activity is probably what helps them learn the best and the quickest method of learning.
What was your biggest challenge, Ron?
I think just learning to work with my body the way it was. I learning how to try to live on my own. Just getting used to getting up in the morning, getting ready to go out, and that kind of thing.
You like being busy.
Yes, I do.
Now, I understand that you graduated from MIT, went to Stanford Graduate School. Now you're working on your MBA at, can I say the name of that university? UCLA. And you have a full-time job, and you're rowing.
Yes. I like having a lot to do with setting goals, trying to accomplish them. It's what keeps me going.
So what's your present goal?
Well, I've been having some medical problems for the last year, so I've been away from rowing for a while, and I just recently returned to work and back to school, so next thing is to get back to rowing, and then I'd like to try hand cycling or some other sports, try them out.
Hand cycling. Is that for you, Angela? Or is that right along with hockey?
I've tried it. I like being out on the water. I like water sports. I like my surfing, my rowing. Hopefully, Ron will be trying out for our national team and be going to Banyuls, Spain next year, and accomplishing and reaching a goal of getting his own world championship gold medal.
That's a goal?
Yes.
All right, we want you to come back on the show with the medal after you've done that too.
Okay.
What we asked Angela is, what's your philosophy of life? What do you live by?
I think it was kind of what I said earlier, that I like setting goals and trying to accomplish them, trying constantly to do something better, something different, just working at that to try to improve.
And what would you like to say to Angela for the help that she gave you?
I think she's been a great example for me. Encouragement, she's shown me what could be done by someone in a wheelchair, and it's good to know that, because it's too easy to not get out and be active, and learning that was very important to me.
And Angela, you have the final word here. What would you like to tell the viewing audience about let's get up and go?
Really, don't sit still. Get up, go, do it. Just do it. That's like the Nike saying, I guess, but it's appropriate.
That's great. That's great. Well, I wish the best of you. It's just a pleasure for me to be sitting here in the company of such accomplished athletes, and also with a never give up attitude. It's definitely wonderful.
Yeah.
And thank you so much. So good luck. Hi, Angela. Oh my golly, look at this. Thank you. God bless you too. Thank you so much for joining us. As you've heard, Angela Madsen is a woman who lives her life with determination, enthusiasm, willpower, and humor. She helps others gain control of their lives so they can live their lives to the fullest. Her never-give-up attitude, where she lives her life day by day, in the moment, believing that things will get better, and they do. She doesn't dwell on past problems, but she focuses on the challenges of today and the opportunities of tomorrow. Thank you so much for being with us, and God bless you all.
So there you go. There you have it. That's Moments with Maureen and with Angela Madsen. And if you'd like to donate, you can do so. Angela has a GoFundMe. She has raised quite a bit of money so far, but she's just short of her goal. So let's help her get over that mark and bring Angela home and get her to her final destination. So you can find that on GoFundMe.com, Angela Madsen, and just Google that. It should show you, or it should bring you right to that mark. So again, thanks for joining us, and hope to see you guys down at the boathouse rowing in any way, shape, or form. With the junior program where I started, that was my spark. with the Long Beach Junior crew. They have summer camps running right now with Rowworks, with LBRA, or Cal State Long Beach, and then as well as CARP, the program that Angela started back about 20 years ago, California Adaptive Rowing Program. So again, thank you guys. I can't thank you enough, and I just really, we miss her. I miss Angela a lot. See her every day, especially on the weekends, and just the definition of determination and will. So will to live. So let's all live a little bit better and live a little bit more brighter, and stay positive, be grateful, and let's live like Angela did. Every life to the max, to the moment. All right? Thanks, you guys.